What's going on, Jerome's? So your Minnesota Vikings finding their future quarterback, blah, 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 blah. Pro day. Jaden Daniels went down yesterday. J.J. McCarthy last week. Michael Penix and Drake Maye were today. And Drake Maye was looking really, really damn good. And this thing about pro days where you basically know what the player is heading in. And I feel like sometimes we're like the kid in the candy store when we see everything up close person. Like, we know that there's no defenders. We know that it's scripted. We know this, that, and the other thing. But the arm, man. Just envisioning Drake Maye dropping piss missiles to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Hawkinson, the Sons of Anarchy. It's great, man. It's great. Also, this is such a huge flex. I mean, how much do you think it would cost to get that Jordan logo? Don't want to call it lamp. Lighted installation. Here, it looks good. It looks fantastic, man. All right, so Drake Maye, who I believe his brothers played basketball at UNC. Don't quote me on that. But Drake Maye had himself a day, and he was just dropping bombs, which is exactly what he was supposed to do and exactly what is expected of him. And I think that he definitely solidified himself as a top 3 selection. And takeaways from this: so big, huge arm, shocker. I mean, again, pro days are supposed to just check the boxes and confirm what you already seen, and he certainly did that. Just casually flick of the wrist, 65-yard bombs. Like, is it up there with Joe Milton? It's Joe Milton adjacent. Yes, but I mean, so a lot of people, myself included, have comped him to Josh Allen because of the combination of arm and mobility, or Justin Herbert because of the arm. But you see a lot of John Elway there, just in pure arm talent. You see a lot of Carson Palmer in there too. So Drake Maye is going to be a special player in this league, man. Also, loose personality, just ready for the moment. A lot like Caleb Williams, a lot like Jaden Daniels, where they weren't uptight. They were just like having a good time, even though, I mean, yes, the pro day. I mean, no one really has a pro day except for Teddy from back in the day. But the whole thing about it is like you're doing this in front of scouts and GMs and coaches. This is on top of the combine. This is another job interview for your future career, and he was getting after him, man. He was accurate on 65 of 70 passes. Now, most of his inaccuracies were at the start, and it's a lot like Jaden Daniels, where you're coming into it cold and blah, blah, blah. Maybe there's a little bit of nerves there, but he definitely heated up after that slow start. Tier 1 velocity and placement on intermediate routes, like the tight windows over the middle, which Kevin O'Connell stresses accuracy over the middle, and Drake Maye certainly had that in spades. And also, I feel like he showed a little bit more touch than his 2023 tape, a little bit more like 2022 when he was actually a little bit more comfortable in the offense, both with the coordinator as well as the talent around him. Also, play action footwork was on point. The whole thing about it too is that a lot of these quarterbacks are going to have to get more used to being under center. Colleges, a lot of guys outside of J.J. McCarthy are in the shotgun for the most part, but his footwork was on point. Him throwing on the run, boot action, half rollouts were good. Also very smooth navigating the pocket. So, phantom defenders, keeping the eyes downfield. Obviously, it's very easy when there are no defenders around there, but also that's something that shows up on tape is that beyond just him being able to take off and run, Drake Maye is able to slide around, manipulate the pocket, just like the half step here, half step there, and also, God, what was it? There's a great clip out there. I think it's with Josh Norris and Colt McCoy, where he's breaking down. He sees a blitz coming. He checks the offensive line. He checks to a hot route, and he finds his matchup against a zero blitz. It's just that's already advanced stuff. So you love to see that. Also, his placement and rhythm is elite. He threw in a couple of those intentional, like off-platform throws, which nothing's always going to be perfect. It's never always going to be whatever, but sometimes ish happens. And, that's the thing that people love about Mahomes. That's what you love about Josh Allen, is that they can make it happen when they're off balance, when they're off platform, when they're throwing the fadeaway jumper, which is perfect for UNC. So, he threw in a couple of those, and I mean, he shows up on tape where, a lot of his best throws over the last 2 years were off schedule, where he had to adjust his arm angle because of defenders, and makes it work. Also, mechanically sound on pro day. So off platform throws, and we get to mechanics where It feels like his footwork was definitely coached up, and I feel like his footwork was worse in 2023 versus 2022, but that's also pick and nits. But obviously he was coached up and looked really good at his pro day, and also he nailed the the Zach Wilson scramble around, throwing it back across your body throw. So which I love that that's a thing now, just the Zach Wilson throw. And Prete Reke Spielman, former Vikings GM, as well as a CBS Sports contributor. Overall, Drake Maye had a very good pro day, settled down after a few errant throws early outside the numbers, but was very impressive with his deep ball accuracy. It would be a tough call on who comes off the board after Caleb Williams. And, of course, what would everyone want to see? I found the love of a lifetime. So Michael Kay, Panthers beat writer, I believe. Drake Maye, didn't he used to be with the Jaguars? Anyways, Drake Maye and Josh McCown after passing drills. Busy day, looked sharp for the most part, especially downfield. Had 6 incompletions behind on a slant, but catchable. A few sideline throws to his right were high. But guess what? Jefferson and Addison catch all of them. Tristan Jackson, too. Let's go. Let's go, Tristan. And, yeah, of course, the connection is there. Josh McCown coached Drake Maye in high school and started Drake Maye over his son. Do you think that McCown is saying to Maye, is like, hey, buddy, you're lucky that I started you at quarterback over my son, because you would be East Carolina's number 1 tight end right now, or something like that. I don't know, man. But the whole thing is to, I think Maye was very unlikely to fall out of the top 3 anyway. I forget, there was a mock draft where he fell to 11, but that's ludicrous. I'd be willing to wager a significant portion of my net worth of jelly beans that he doesn't fall out of the top 3. Now, the whole thing about Brian Kelly maybe slipping, that Washington is in on Jaden Daniels, and it could be a game of telephone, right? So the Bears obviously in on Caleb Williams at 1. And Washington, I mean, Jaden Daniels, I mean, he played under Brian Kelly for 2 years, obviously confides in coach to a degree, and maybe he's like, yeah, Washington's taking me at 2, and then maybe stupid Brian Kelly is just like, he's going to do really good in Washington. Right. So that could put Drake Maye in play at 3. Now, the Patriots may be in on Drake Maye. So the Vikings might be SOL, and they'll just take him because Drake Maye would play very well in New England. But if, say, the Patriots are sort of whatever on all the quarterbacks and they want some more draft capital to rebuild the rooster, which they certainly need, or if they're fully in on Daniels, I think you could see them moving. But I think it's unlikely that Maye falls out of the top 3. I think that if someone falls to quarterback 4, I think it's either going to be McCarthy or Daniels. But yeah, I mean, Drake Maye is super impressive. But the whole thing is too, like, we already, everyone already knew that Drake Maye was good. But it's just a little bit of recency bias. It's just a little bit of just seeing it up close. That's the whole thing too. Like, well, quarterbacks, like, we want to see the deep balls. Like, hey, you know what? Throwing an accurate slant on 3rd and 4 when you really need it, or pretty footwork and pinky down the seam of your trousers when you're doing boot action to your weak side, and then throwing the dig to a tight end. No, we want to see the deep balls. Like, drop the bombs, man. It's good times. But your thoughts are thoughts. Drake Maye had himself an awesome pro day, and it's going to be May. Who knows? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.